Mitchell. Thanks for joining me today. I've got Mitchell, founder of Condo. So,
yeah, nice to be here.
Thanks so much for joining me. The LinkedIn inbox is pretty terrible, and you decided to fix it. So, tell me a little bit more about that.
So basically, if you think about, I was just thinking about funnels yesterday and how, it's natural for people to think about, if I want more leads, what do I do? Okay, I got to go get busier. I got to go do more stuff, add more connections, max everything out, send more messages.
Yeah.
But I was reflecting my own business and how when you want to fix your funnel, you fix it from the bottom up, right? Like if you go find more taps for a leaky bucket, you're gonna waste water, right? And so I'd say everything comes down to the inbox, right? The inbox is where you turn relationships of cold, warm, hot into some kind of transaction. You get people on a call, you sell them your services, and the inbox is where things leak out a lot.
Yeah.
I've talked to, that was me, for years. And I've also now talked to thousands of people trying to sell stuff on LinkedIn. And every time I talk to them, they're like, oh my God, I'm sure if I went through the last 3 months of stuff, look at all these things I found here, that could have been a deal, right? Yes. I just forgot to get back to the guy.
Yeah.
And so I think, basically, yes, the inbox is a mess, but so what? But it's a leaky bucket, right? It's where some leads go to get lost and die. Yeah. And so what's the point of, doing more stuff if, what's the point of adding more connections, growing your network, building a personal brand, stuff like that, if, at the end of the day, some of these potential deals just go into mess and die, right? And so I think that's why it was an interesting problem. It's why I, for a long time, very religiously made sure I put everything into a spreadsheet and kept track of it, right? Yeah. So I copy paste.
Manual spreadsheet.
Yeah, copy paste, you send a connection request, you paste a link in the spreadsheet, and then as you send messages, you basically update this kind of tracker live. And why bother? That took hours and hours a week, but why do you do that? Because the worst thing that can happen is you've put all this effort into, bringing people into your funnel, warming them up, sending them a message. And then the worst thing happen is they're oh yeah, sure. Here's a question. I have a question. I want to chat. And then you're oops, sorry, forgot. Right.
Exactly. Exactly. And I speak to so many business owners who just say, I need more leads. I need more leads. I need to grow my network. I need to, speak to more people on LinkedIn. When actually there's probably people in their inbox that they could be speaking to that they just lose track of and they just forget. And, manual spreadsheets are just not where it's at anymore now in the world that we're in with AI and all of these automations and different tools that we have, available. So I love that. And I think it's a really great problem to solve because I've been on LinkedIn for over 10 years now using the platform, and it is a pain point for a lot of people is the inbox is clunky and you lose a lot of things along the way. So I guess from your background and, wanting to solve this problem, how did your career and other things sort of lead you to this point where you're okay, this is a problem that I really want to be solving?
Yeah, I'd say I worked in early stage tech startups. Everything was scrappy. You show up on a job and the boss is well, your target is to increase our ARR. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you buy ads. I don't care. Just and this was a couple of years back. And I think, there wasn't this it was starting, but there isn't this explosion of AI content on LinkedIn. It was still quite an authentic platform where people show up, and we were running cold email campaigns, and our cold emails were getting 2% reply rates.
Yeah.
Whenever we LinkedIn people, 30 out of 100 would reply. So we're oh, that works. We just keep LinkedIning people.
Yeah.
And so I think I'd say maybe we caught the wave where LinkedIn was a very efficient way to communicate. We were targeting, sales and marketing leaders, and I guess those folks hang out on LinkedIn a lot.
Yeah.
And so we experienced the potential. We experimented. We didn't even know that it was such a good channel, and then we just found it. So we kept doing it. And at the same time, so I was working in tech startup, and tech
Yeah.
startups, are quite experimental. They like go try all the new tools. People geek out over, when I buy a product, I think about, how was it built,
Yeah.
right? How well designed is it?
Yeah.
And so we tried all sorts of tools. And when I started my job, then there was this thing called Superhuman, which is an email app. And I remember back then, many people know about it now. They just got acquired by Grammarly. But back then it was like you couldn't even sign up. Like, you go to a website and you're like, sorry, you have to get an invite to get in.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Even you couldn't even pay to get in.
Right.
And so I was like, what is this thing?
It makes you want it more, right? That's great marketing.
And my boss was using it, and I got it, and it was kind of changed the way I worked with email. And so we're using all these fancy tools, and at the same time, I had the LinkedIn inbox, and I was like following our people. I was like, still had the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And so the stark contrast, like if you're kind of like experimental, trying latest tools in the startup scene, it's like the LinkedIn inbox is a place which sticks out in your day. It's like everything else is optimized for my productivity and efficiency, except this one thing. And it's kind of weird. The inbox kind of hasn't changed much since 2000 if you look at it, right? And it's just very visceral if you're using well-crafted tools throughout your day, but you have to come back to this thing that's worse than Outlook, right? That how do you set a reminder? Oh, sorry, please go to your spreadsheet and write a date for the next follow-up.
Yeah, and then put it in your calendar and then go back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I met a sales rep, one of our customers. He was using Apple Notes. He had an Apple Notes pad, and he was like, lead name, the link, and then what I need to do next, and he was updating Apple Notes.
Yeah.
And when we finally showed him the tool, he was like, oh my god, why was this it's kind of crazy that I had to Apple Notes this thing, right? Surely someone has hacked together something for this thing.
Yeah.
And then I went shopping. My last company, we ran a recruiting firm for tech startups, and also at the LinkedIn a lot. And so we shopped. We was like, we'll go try all the LinkedIn tools. Which one's better? And there are some out there, and some are LinkedIn CRMs. They try and give you this all-in-one place to manage all your leads. Some of them are automation tools, right? They try to help you auto send stuff, and all of them have little inboxes in them. But we ended up paying and churning off all these tools because all I wanted was, my nice email inbox, but for LinkedIn. I didn't want all 100 different features around the tool.
Yeah. And especially the automation, that's a whole other side of it as well. And I think, to your point, so many people on the platform are just really fed up with spammy DMs and being able to reach out to people and have these automated messages that come through. And I love that Condo is not that.
Yeah. I think it's an established category of tools. If you want to automate, you can go do it, right? The question, I think, is how much mileage you get out of it. And I think some of our customers were doing that for a while, and they were like, actually, this is not working that well for us. We're not, our reply rate isn't that good. And guess what? We're paying salespeople. Why are we trying to automate the salesperson's job? It's their job to be talking to people all day and to be building relationships for our company. If the automation can do as well as them, sure, but it can't. They weren't seeing the results.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, let's stop that, and let's go back to salespeople talking as humans to real people, and building relationships as only a human can. And I think Condo's been a really good fit for people who maybe tried the automation thing or don't believe in it, and believe that humans should be involved in some part of the sales process and have some back and forth.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of conversations on LinkedIn now, even around content and other things that people are calling people out if they see a post that's very AI written or AI driven. And the same thing with the messages. It can stand out, like a sore thumb when you see a message that has been generically sent through an automation bot, and there's the instant follow-up, and it's are you still there? And you're like, go away and talk to me like a human. So I agree with you in terms of just having that approach. Automation has its place, but it has to be used in the right way. And then, taking more of that human approach to your messages. I think as a business owner, you've got so many different things on your plate, whether it be sales, marketing, operations, finance, like you're wearing all the hats. So just streamlining every single part of your day-to-day process is only going to help, you know?
Yeah, I think the question is like, what do you have leverage at? Like, for example, if you're like copy paste, if you're like transferring data from some place to another or manually updating stuff, there is like very little reason why a human would do that better than a computer. And so I think, yeah, AI should go like take care of all our like complex admin work that was previously not automatable. Like if you think about all the things that you would have to write 100 different Zapier flows to accomplish, like probably AI can take care of that more easily now. And I think that's where it should start. For now, at least, I've yet to like talk or email back and forth with an AI, which is as good as like a moderately, like a 60th percentile salesperson, right? Or yeah, I mean, I know founders who like are building AI companies and use a lot of AI in their workflows, but there's like the founder talking to me or selling to me or whatever is like 10 to 50x more convincing than a bot they built. So I think there is a lot of leverage in, it depends on what you're selling. But in many a case, there's like a lot of leverage in humans building relationships and doing sales. And yeah, you should lean into that. And you should like use technology to get rid of the stuff where you have there's no like a perfect machine would do it like, you know, better, or like it can be done. And so I think we need to ask like what role does a human play in like a changing world in whatever the AI century, and at least for the next 5-10 years. I mean, let's see how things change. But I think we'll still want to be buying from humans. And a friend of mine's building enterprise SaaS for education. And he says, you know, these people live all over the US. I have to like take 7 flights to go see them. I was like, why do you fly to middle of Ohio? Like, do you really need to see the guy? I mean, just show him the thing works. I mean, his teams are, he's like, you know, when you're selling a 100K deal, the handshake matters. Even if you don't, you just like show up and go out to lunch and talk about the rainbows and shake hands. He's like, I've lost deals because I didn't go fly and do that. So why? Because there's a relationship being built here. There's like trust. It's like it's not like what you say. It's like, I know there's a real person here. I get a sense of you and I trust you, and therefore I'm willing to buy for you. I know if things go wrong, there's someone to call. I'm not sure a bot's gonna like answer my call and solve my problems. I'm sure I have some confidence that a human would. So I think that's how I think about like humans and AI in sales.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's a trap sometimes in business of thinking, well, I've got to do it the fastest way and the most leverage for my time. And like, I want to scale this business, but sometimes you have to do things that are, you know, technically unscalable, like, you know, flying to go see the client or doing those things, particularly if you're working with really premium clients. I found, and a lot of the people we work with are wanting to attract, you know, more premium clients. And so one of the things that I really liked about you, Mitch, when we first connected and we first met, because I've been using Condo, you know, for a while and connected in the early days. And I think one of the things you did really well as a founder was doing a lot of those onboarding calls. So take me through like those early stages, because from someone else looking from the outside in, they would probably just say to you, why are you doing those calls? Like, that's really unscalable. But I think from what I read, you did like over 2,000 customer onboarding calls when you first launched Condo. So tell me why you did that and what came out of that process for you.
Yeah, I mean, I actually still do those, but I think it's like quite common early on. I'd say it's probably like almost like a default that when launching software in the early days, you should go onboard your customers one-on-one. There are probably very rare exceptions to that. For example, if you're releasing like consumer tech, maybe you just want a lot of people to show up. But if you're selling software for businesses where you're asking people to use your thing, to integrate into their workflows, to work better, most YC founders, for example, would like show up and onboard their customers. So we did that. We did that to why? Because the product was early. We wanted to like see what usage looked like in the first few minutes. We wanted to understand how to build this thing where people would just get it. We wanted to understand like why people wouldn't get it. I remember some of those calls, people were like, I don't need this thing. You don't have features, 1 to 5. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye. And it's like good to hear all this like mix of how people reacted when you put it in front of their face and you ask them to pay for it.
Yeah.
And so we did that. And I'd say that got us to a product which we thought was good enough to put out there, right? Where we're convinced where we knew who our we knew which users we wanted and which users we didn't want. And for the users we wanted, we were confident that if you get me on a 10-minute call, I could sell it and I get most people to pay for it.
Yeah.
Now you sign up, people pay for it and then use it, and some people never talk to me. I don't even know who they are. And life goes on. But we stopped doing that because I felt like we weren't learning that much anymore.
Look, I love that you have that more of a human approach. And, I always say to our tribe members, the rule of 80% perfect is done. And I know you've been great coming in to do some advanced trainings on Condo for our members. And that's sort of how we look at things as well, is like, you've got to get it sort of 80% of what you think, but you've got to get that feedback from your market. And you can only get that through conversations. Because there is nuance and there is sort of areas that you have blind spots to, because you're so close to the product sometimes, or you're so close to your services that it's hard to look at it from the outside in.
Yeah, I also think that at some point in my career, I worked in market research, and you would get two kinds of feedback. You get like people who are really happy and people who are really unhappy, right? That's what if you put out a survey, that's what you get. You don't see like everyone in the middle, right? Like this is why restaurants, you get like 5-star reviews and then the 1-star reviews.
Yes.
And you don't, people who put 3 stars rarely say anything, right? So I think spending time, like proactively going to your customers and saying, tell me how it's been going. Let's sit down, have a chat, like walk me through your workflow. It gets you like the middle. It gets you how 70% of users are using your thing because they won't say anything.
Yeah.
And let's say one of them churns. They're like, I'm going to cancel. You have no idea why. They won't tell you because it's not like, I hate this thing, give me my money back now or else, right? Or it's not like, I love this thing, don't ever take it away from me.
Yeah.
There are some people who are like on the fence and some of those people will leave.
Yeah.
And you want to understand why they're leaving and whether you care.
I think that's a part of really being close to your customer or your client and really understanding where they're coming from and not, taking it personally as the founder or the business owner and just knowing that it is feedback to be able to improve, because sometimes, it's hard to hear those conversations when you've put your, whole energy and thought process and effort into creating something that you think is amazing. And then some people go, well, it sucks because of this and this and this, but it only makes you improve and get better.
It's easy to get lost in like this sea of like people saying like bad things about your product or service.
Yeah.
And some of it is like there's a mismatch and you have to like recognize that and say, if you react to all of that and try and like fix everything, you'll end up getting pulled in too many directions, right? You gotta say like some negative feedback is just like, this is not the right product for these people. It's okay. Like take a step back. There are lots of people built for, you'll lose some customers. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then focus on the people who like, oh, you really wanted to serve them. Their expectations are in line with yours of your own product, and then like it fell short. And then like that's like probably the most productive place to focus on.
Absolutely. Because I think not all feedback should be taken on as, oh, this is us, we need to fix this problem. But I think, something that, I really think is important is knowing who you're there to serve and who you're there to not serve as well. Because I think so many times in business, whether you're running a service or a product, we can naturally just want to be available for everyone, or we want to be able to help everyone or make an impact with lots of different people. And the reality is, if you want to grow and, you're doing this in a really streamlined, leveraged way, a lot of the time you just can't, going deep first with your market and before going wide is usually the way to go. And that means getting very clear and drawing lines in the sand about who you're wanting to help, who you're not wanting to help, who's a good fit to work with, who's not a good fit, and being really okay to say no. I think that's one of the big lessons that you learn in business, is just being okay to say no to the wrong people. Like I've had people that have wanted to join our program and I've said no because they've either sent an email to my team and that was just horrendously rude and uncalled for. And I'm like, if you're going to speak to my team like that, then I don't want to work with you. I don't, it doesn't matter if you want to pay us money. Like, no, it's not the right fit.
They want to join your program, but they were rude to your team.
Yeah.
Then
So
why do they want to join your program?
That's it. So I said no. But I think, getting yourself into a position in business to feel comfortable to do that and not feeling desperate to take on every kind of person or every kind of, thing in business is something that you work towards as well. Because in the early days, when people are like, you want to pay you money, you're like, okay, great. Like, let's work together. But I think you kind of know that the customers and the clients that you bring on, if you bring on the wrong fit client, it's going to take so much more of your time and energy. And, back to your point around feedback, not all feedback is the right kind of feedback to listen to in terms of if you've got a vision of where you want to go to in the business and who you want to work with.
Yeah, I think there's like especially at the start, you're like, I'm not making any money. Money is nice.
Yes.
This guy wants to pay me if I do X, Y, Z, right? And it's tempting to like, take the win.
Yeah.
By like going out of your way to do more. I think if you think about like the jack of all trades, they make money. Like the guy who shows up and says, oh, I can be your plumber and I can build your furniture and I can like whatever, like clean your house. For sure, you make some money doing that, right? You're just like a general, like people don't have time, they pay for your time. You can make money that way, but it's hard to scale a business that way.
Absolutely.
Because you can't do a different thing every day and try to like replicate that. It'll just be like you.
Yeah.
Right. If I became like the sales consultant or, marketing ops person for all of our customers, I'm sure we'd make some money, but that's just be me being like, a kind of fractional jack of all trades, help you make your business work. Right. I can't scale a software business that way.
Yeah.
I'd be like shaping my software in ways just to fit each customer. And so I think if you want to like not just sell your time, but sell like something that you can scale, and software is like the epitome of like scalable business, then it's gonna be like more than 50% what you want this thing to be rather than what people want to pay you for.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're taking a bet that I have a vision that there's some place in the world for this kind of product, and we'll build towards it. And then you might be wrong and you might not make as much money as you want and you'll give up and you'll change courses. But that's what you're building to, your vision of what this thing should be rather than what people want to pay you for.
Yeah.
It's a fine balance. It's got to make, the point is for this thing to like grow, and growing means making money.
Yeah.
But making money in a certain way, right? And getting that way right is like the path to scale.
Yeah. Oh, couldn't agree more. Absolutely. And I think if we go back to sort of the LinkedIn, and we know people can make mistakes of trying to speak to everyone on LinkedIn and trying to attract everyone on LinkedIn as well. From the DMs and the inbox point of view, like what are you hearing are some of the mistakes a lot of people are making on LinkedIn when it comes to DMs and it comes to like sending messages to people?
Yeah, I think common mistakes are like treating it like email. People still do that a lot. You can measure this in like the length of a message.
Yes.
Right. I don't know why people still do this, but I still see like people sending me blocks of text pitching their services
every week.
Right. They're longer than even some cold emails. And yeah, I think you have the opportunity, and okay, LinkedIn's cool, right? Because like you have this open chat window and then you can like send as many messages as you want. Yeah. Now, if you send too many messages and you piss people off, they're just going to block you and then you won't be able to send more messages. But insofar as you remain in their relatively good books, you can send multiple messages.
Yeah.
You can have back and forth. You can follow up, right? So I think leveraging that chat format will make you rethink like how much information do I have to squeeze into one message?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it goes back to the human approach we talked about earlier, because it happens all the time. And I have to laugh at some of the messages that you get, through the DMs, because you're right. It's a big block of text. It can be, we call them pitch slaps in our tribe, because they're all about the other person. They're nothing about building the relationship. It's like, I've got this thing. Hey, buy my stuff. Let's get on a call. Let's do this. And you're like, whoa, hold on a minute. Like, we're just meeting for the first time. And you wouldn't go up to someone at a networking event face to face and just be like, hi, my name's Amy, buy my stuff and buy my services. But people do that on LinkedIn all the time. And I think a lot of people are quite fed up with it. So
yeah, I'd say there's one exception to that probably. Like pitch apps don't work most of the time because whatever you have to offer is probably not, that compelling.
Yeah.
And hence I have to you have to understand a bit more about my problems. You have to build a relationship to make it compelling.
Yes.
And maybe it's not, and I'm not right customer, right?
Yeah.
The one exception is that if you know for 100% sure that this is one of my top 3 priorities and I'm struggling to, for example, if someone went to make a post about how I have no idea how to track visitors on my website and I would pay someone to solve this problem for me today. If you go pitch slap them and be like, I can identify visitors on your website.
Yes.
It'd be strange if they don't respond, right? If you know exactly what someone's looking for at that point in time.
Yes.
It is fair game to go pitch them. Yeah. I do this sometimes. If you make a post saying, my inbox is a mess.
Yes.
I have no idea what to do with it. What's any way if someone suggests to manage my LinkedIn DMs? I will go pitch you. I will literally show up in comments and say, use this thing.
That's right, because you've got context.
Yeah.
You've got context around this is a person that I can identify or that has already sort of self-identified and put their hand up to say, I'm having these issues, I'm having these challenges, I'm having these problems. And so then, I agree. You can reach out and start building that relationship with that person and be like, hey, I'm already solving this problem for XYZ client. This might be useful for you as well. Definitely.
So I'd say you either need very good discovery before you reach out.
Yeah.
And some people do this quite well. Or, for example, if you reached out to me and somehow understood a lot more, to say, hey, Mitchell, your conversion rate is X. These are the 5 reasons why it's not Y. I can get it to Y in these ways. I entertain a conversation. But so you either do your research early.
Yes.
Or you do your research in the conversation as you learn more about people and build a relationship. Yeah. So I think that's those are the 2 ways to do it. I don't think pitch apps don't work. I think they don't work when it's not a perfect fit for a problem that the prospect's having right now.
Yeah.
So go choose your path, but in either way, it's only gonna work if you somehow get enough insight into why this is a compelling thing for you now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because the opposite can happen where I think sometimes when we receive so many messages that don't feel right from our point of view or, are kind of come across as pitch slaps and they don't have that context or they don't ask enough questions to build that relationship first, then as the receiver of that, we can often go, well, that feels icky, that feels gross. And then it stops you from wanting to show up in the DMs because you go, well, I don't want to be that person or I don't want to come across that way. But to your point, there's plenty of different ways that you can do it. And I think the worst thing that you can do is just do nothing. Because if you're a business owner, you're selling a service, you're the top salesperson in your company, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur. So I think sometimes people can err on the side of caution too much about not wanting to be salesy, not wanting to be icky. But if you're running a business, there has to be a point where you offer what you're doing. And the more eyeballs on your offer, the more people have a chance to work with you as well.
Yeah, I'd say mistake number 2 is probably just not trying again.
Yeah.
There's a flip side of this, which is I don't want to bother people. It's been so long. Last time I talked to the guy was a year ago, right? It's kind of too late. I think persistence is probably key. It feels uncomfortable to chase people, but it works.
It does, yeah.
Right. And why? Because people forget. Often people think that they're more important than they are. People probably don't remember that you didn't reply to a message or didn't follow up or something a year ago. You just reach out again and say hi, and they're probably oh, nice to hear from you again.
Yeah.
So I'd say often there's fear or this hesitation in putting yourself out there and asking for what you want.
Yeah.
But if you don't ask for what you want, nobody's gonna give it to you, right?
Yeah.
And so I'd say, yeah, persistence is key, and people don't follow up enough. Even like these people pitch slapping me, very few of them actually follow up that much.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a coach who uses Condo for him and his clients, and he says, "I will follow up with you until you tell me no." Like I don't care. Like, what's wrong with annoying you? The worst thing that can happen is you can say no, go away, or you'll block me. Which is fine, because whether you block me or didn't respond or ignored me forever is the same thing. It's not like I'm here to like make friends and be happy. I'm here to like do business. Right? So I'm gonna like pitch you my stuff to the point where you tell me I really don't need this, or I hate you, or you're annoying, like F off, right?
Right.
And he does that to everyone. He's like, I will follow up with everyone until I get them to either, okay, what's this about?
Yeah.
Or like, go away.
Yeah.
I've never been pitched I can't think of an example in the last year where someone's like pitched me so much that I'm like, please stop,
go away.
Yeah. Right. I mean, the worst thing happen again is I put them in some spam folder.
Yeah.
I block them or something like that. Like, it's not like I call the police on them. Right. They're just annoying. Like, worst, I'm just annoyed and they stop. But if you're annoying, I'll remember you're the one annoying guy. And if somewhere in the annoying stuff, there's like, oh, like maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
Like, you might talk, right? So I'd say persistence is like the top way to stand out.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you do it tastefully, you'll get better results. But just follow up 5 to 7 times or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think I think when you've got your content out there as well, it helps to build trust, because sometimes people can reach out blind and they don't have enough context around like who this person is and what they're doing as well. I think, you know, something that we both do is share content on LinkedIn, and that allows people to sort of have an avenue of building trust for that situation as well. I don't know if I go to the extreme of like harassing someone until they want to block me or say no, but that could be, you know, very much a cultural thing as well. You know, my husband's American, and I remember when we were at a coffee shop one time, and I had like a loyalty card for the coffees, and I just left it up in the apartment, and we'd go there all the time, so they knew who we were. And I knew I had a free coffee, you know, stamp ready to go. And I just forgot my card. And they said, have you got your loyalty card? I said, no, it's upstairs. And then I was just not going to ask. I was going to say, it's fine, I'll get the free one the next time. And my husband's right there. And he just said, oh, well, we come here all the time. She's got a free coffee on her stamp. Can I bring it down tomorrow and you can stamp it tomorrow and just get the free one today? And I looked at him like horrified, like, no, I can't ask that. I don't have my physical card. And it goes back to your point of him just saying, well, if you don't ask, you don't get. And that's the culture that he's been brought up with as well. And I think sometimes for us, especially in Australia, a lot of the Australians I work with are a little bit too hesitant or a little bit too worried about, you know, what people are going to think about them. And the thought of getting blocked or ignored by someone is like horrific. Whereas also I think in business, you've got to come at it with a different attitude, and you've got to have a bit of a thick skin to go, it's not actually me personally. Like, I think we can take things really personally sometimes. And it's like, not saying no to me. They've just, you know, read the message, and then their kids have run into the room and they've got distracted, and then they're on to their next meeting, and then they're this and then this, and they've just forgotten to respond. And so I do think that, you know, some of those follow-ups that you send, it does spark those conversations again, just because life happens, things get in the way. It's not necessarily that they weren't interested. It's just that they didn't have a reason to remember to reach back out again.
I mean, it's like a trope now, but 95% of your market's not ready to buy now.
Yeah.
There are 2 ways you can, I mean, you got to stay top of mind so that when they are ready to buy, they show up again. And the 2 ways you can do that, either through like content marketing, or like follow-ups, right? So like you can say, oh, I don't believe in like pestering people. Okay.
Yeah.
Go build a community, throw events once a month, publish content once a week, like that speaks that, like that's like actually useful for people. Like, even if you don't want to follow up, that's fine. You can, like, I don't follow up, for example, if someone's, I follow up like once or twice. Like if someone says I'm interested in Condo, I'll be like, oh, are you still interested? I'll say, like, are you interested in 3 days and in a week? And then if you don't, I'll just assume you're not. I don't go chase people because you know, whatever, a subscription to me is a couple $100s a year. Like, it's not really worth me chasing you down unless you're like a really big company, right? But how I try to keep top of mind is, you know, like you're connected with me. You see my post. You see me. I sell my product shamelessly all day in my posts and in my comments.
Yeah.
And it works because sometimes people show up and say, "Hey, we're ready to try condo now. What do we do?" Right. So I'd say you pick your poison, right? Like if you and this might be like the kind of product you're selling as well. If you're selling like a mostly self-serve product like me, then maybe it's not, you can't go follow up with 1,000 people. You go make content which 1,000 people see all day, and then it's actually a bit harder than following up. But if you're selling a $10,000 a year or something, why not, right? Like maybe the guy wasn't ready to buy it today. You reach out in a month, like, has life changed, right? And then if life hasn't changed, they'll ignore you and you'll come back again in a month. It's fine, right? Like life goes on. I'd say the thing to avoid, I'd say, you got to get uncomfortable and do things you otherwise won't. The lines to avoid, the things I would never do is, if people tell you no, go away, stop calling me, don't call them again. Just inviting trouble, right? So again, I have no problems with people calling me all day, but if I'm like, don't call me again, don't call me again, right? If not, you're just inviting trouble. Also, like, don't lie and don't be dishonest and don't do illegal stuff, right? So I'd say those are probably the hard lines. But beyond that, there are no rules in business. I mean, just do what you need to get what you want. And I think if you're selling to people who are also in business, they get it, right? They get that at the end of the day. This is a game. And
I think it can be a bit jarring as well for some people who are used to using other platforms like Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever it is. And then I think LinkedIn, it's so purposeful for business. And so I think people are already in that business mindset on the platform, and they're, open to wanting to learn, have, collaborations with people in their industry, develop partnerships with people as well as sort of finding like direct people that they can work with too. So sometimes I think the conversations, it might not even open you up to a direct relationship as a client with that person, but they might be like, oh, hey, this isn't for me, but I know 2 other people that you should talk to, and then they'll put you in touch. And so I think a lot of people, if it's done the right way, like you're saying, and we're not being a pest just to be a pest, there are people out there that it will actually go, hold on a minute, this is someone that in my network I think, could find this useful as well, because it does have that real networking effect, because people are in that business mindset on the platform. I
think a lot of people treat the DMs as a kind of like a separate channel where like it's its own box. But actually, like, you can do a lot more on LinkedIn than just like message people. So people don't respond to you, you can always show up on their comments. Roughly the same thing you can say in a message, you can say in a comment. A comment is public. There's also I think there's like a little game economy in LinkedIn. Like when you comment on someone's post, you're actually like giving them engagement, right? You're saying, hey, your post is important enough. And so whereas a direct message is like for you, maybe if you're pitching something, it's for your benefit alone. A comment, even if you have some hidden agenda in it, like, does give the guy something. And if they really don't think so, they can delete your comment. So I think that's a tactic people don't use enough, like open the guy's post. It's
part of like your lead nurture as well, and just like you said, showing an interest in that person and what they're doing, and adding the comment being public. It also exposes you to their network, in their 2nd degree and 3rd degree network as well, rather than just having that one-to-one relationship. You've got that sort of one-to-many scenario where people will lurk, people will see it, people will watch, but they might not necessarily engage back. But it's another way that you can, get your name out there for what you're doing.
And then I think the last mistake I'd highlight is like not like, again, and then thinking about why LinkedIn is powerful, right? It's a chat app in which you can send videos and voice notes. You can't do that on email. If you send an email, it's a link out, and then like people have to click and they're suspicious and stuff like that. But you can send an embedded video. If you make most people don't know this, but if you make a video file small enough, like less than 20 megabytes, like 1 minute or something, it will play. LinkedIn has like a video player. So it will like, a file will play in the feed. You can also send voice notes natively, or you can like record a video on your phone on LinkedIn. You can send voice notes in Condo as well, just by pressing a mic to record it. And I think this is like kind of some people think this is controversial because they're like, oh, some people hate voice notes. Why are you wasting my time? Why didn't you just like type your message out? But the reality is like a lot of people like type text messages and like they get ignored, right? So like I think sending a different format, which the platform allows and in fact encourages, is a way to make it a bit more human.
Yes.
Right? It's harder for an AI to send a voice message. Some of them do. But it does like, at least maybe for now, it gives this flavor of like, it's a bit different. You're actually like taking your time to send it. I just read a post yesterday about why you should record videos out of home because it feels more friendly. Like like when people FaceTime you, they're like on a walk or something, and it gives you that feeling that this is like a more personal conversation rather than sitting at your desk. So I think there's something to that. And people should, if you really want people to if your prospects are very high value to you, and getting them on the line would be worth a lot of money, like a lot of money, like more than $500 you'd pay for the meeting. You should go all out. You should go try and experiment with sending videos and voice notes and see if they move the needle. If they don't, fine. But like if you don't try, like you might be missing like a very good source of leverage for response rates.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of our clients have success with the voice notes for that reason, because it just brings a lot of trust, a lot of authenticity to the message. And, you know, there's the downside as well where people are like, well, if I open up my phone and I'm in a public place and I don't have my headphones, like I'm not going to listen to that voice note right now. So like it has its pros and cons, the same as any kind of messages. But I think, you know, to your point, just using all different mediums that you have to get your message across in different ways. Sometimes it's not about the message, but it's how you communicate it. It can land differently for different markets and different people as well. So I think it's really about knowing who your market is, who you're trying to speak to, and how they like to buy. Because I think when you're sort of, you know, thinking of them in mind in the sales process and that buyer's journey, that's when things actually really start to accelerate with the trust, because they're instantly, even just the way you're communicating, people go, oh, they get me. This is how I like to respond. So I think it's really useful to test all sorts of elements like that. From a condo point of view, I've been using it for a long time. Our clients use it. It's something that I actually invest in for our clients when they come on board with us. And I'd love to know from you, like, what's around the corner? Any exciting features, any new developments, anything that you can share with me?
Yes. Honestly, there are so many things we want to ship, and we haven't been able to ship them as fast as we wanted to. One thing that's kind of there now that some people might not know is we want to bring like the connection, like the part of the workflow where someone connects with you and then you start a conversation with them all the way to like you get what you want from a conversation. We want to bring that whole workflow in Condo. A big missing part in that so far has been like you could find people to start conversations with them in Condo, but you couldn't see like a list of your recent connections. So, I mean, this is more like people who already use Condo will get this frustration, but now you can actually. So we show you a list of your recent connections. You can kind of like have a workflow where you make sure you start conversations with people who you connected with today. We want to like make that a bit, the UX around that a bit better. So that's like hopefully coming out before this video gets published. And then more stuff after that. We're working on like there are a lot of boring stuff we're working on, but if some people use Sales Navigator, we're working on integrating that, and we're getting better CRM integration. So we're building like a Salesforce connector where you can just like install something in Salesforce and things sync in, more for sales teams. There are some AI features somewhere in the 3 to 6 month roadmap. Honestly, it's been like a struggle building this company with like 2 people. It's still want to keep it that way, but trying to find the right velocity while keeping it lean is something we still struggle with.
I think last time when we caught up last, you were saying I've got to get out of this onboarding course. I've got to leverage my time a little bit more, because I know it's, you know, with 2 people and the amount of, customers and clients that you've got now, it would be a lot. It would be a lot.
I mean, I am doing less now than the last time we chatted. But things as you build, I think the challenge is like the more you build a product, the more complex it gets. And like, this is why LinkedIn hasn't shipped a better inbox, because they have like a lot of process, that they have like a really big and complex product. It's hard for them to like change things, even though the change might seem small, but the change always fits in this context of a really large system.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's something I'm learning now, probably. Like, how do you like make things don't go slower as your thing gets bigger and more complex? And I don't think we've cracked that yet. But next lesson in the life of like a, small SaaS company. Yeah.
We'll definitely have to do a part 2 of this conversation and catch up with where things are at. But Mitch, I've got 3 rapid fire questions for you. So what do you think is one of the most underrated LinkedIn features out there right now?
Underrated LinkedIn features right now. Oh, okay. Here's an Easter egg. LinkedIn improved post analytics recently.
Yes, they did.
And you can see how many people clicked a link in your post. I think that's underrated, because that actually gives you like, if you're like doing like marketing, I think there's a debate over whether putting a link in a post like dings the reach or whatever. But like, if you really care about like trackable, like you can get like 100 likes or whatever, it doesn't matter. If your point is to get people to like click through to your website landing page or whatever it is, you have like very good track. You can put the link there. Of course, if you're a marketer, you have all this like UTM tracking and stuff like that. But this is like a LinkedIn native way to see that, are you like, if you go post a link, are you like driving traffic link? And I tried that. We had a creator post about Condo recently, and the numbers are good. Like his I can see that his numbers, like on that LinkedIn little thing, matches up with my numbers when they hit the site. And so I think like that's like, we're gonna be like, that should be a very important metric for anyone doing kind of influencer marketing or just tracking. You want to use your post drive traffic, like go find that little metric, because it like matters a lot more than you'd think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think years ago it was just very much like a no in terms of putting any kind of link in any kind of LinkedIn post. But now, like you said, it depends on what you're actually trying to track, because sure, if the algorithm like holds it back because there's one link in there or you're sending people off the LinkedIn platform, sure, that's okay. But if you're doing it for marketing purposes and eyeballs on your landing page, or you're wanting people to come to your masterclass or whatever that looks like, then often that overrides the algorithm side of things. And in fact, I've actually looked at some data around multiple links in posts now actually performing more. So if you have like 3 or 4 links in your post, that actually is like boosting posts.
Yeah, I wonder
enough.
if it's actually an indication that LinkedIn cares about whether they're being clicked, right? Like someone told me, if it doesn't matter if you put a link in or not, if people click it a lot. So like if you put a frivolous thing and no one clicks it, like I can kind of see that. Again, all these are like guesses on how their algo works, but I think that changes how people, there's this lead magnet format and it still works, obviously. Like, click this thing, I'll send you something. Actually, the best example I saw of that was like, there's a guy he wrote a book called Principles of Building with AI Agents or something. And apparently it's a physical book, which he sends to like engineering teams in SF. And his post went viral because if you comment on it, he sends you the book, right? So I think that in that case it works. But if you're just going to send a link, I get that it's like algorithm hacking, right? You're just like getting people to comment so that the post gets more reach, and it still works. But theoretically, if your link is like a valuable resource and like makes people care about your brand more, maybe you should just like put it in the thing and don't let it get lost in the comments. I don't know if one day we'll see. I think that's actually like probably a healthy, like I want a platform where if people have a very valuable piece of content, you just like put it in a post, and if a lot of people see it and click it, the reach of the post goes up by itself without having a comment section that's filled with like link please. Right, like it's really like zero value add for me to see the 100 comments that are link please. The comment section should be full of like back and forth where like there's like an interesting discussion. It's now misused for like engagement hacking or like algo hacking, which I think is like terrible for the platform, right? The platform should just reward people who put a link, and a lot of people see that link
Yeah,
or something
and just
like
have
that.
genuine conversations with people.
Yeah, and then the comments are
yeah.
reserved for what did I think? I went to read the thing, and what did I think of it? Or like,
what's your biggest takeaway?
Or like this was crap, right? Like don't bother clicking. Like I think it should be that instead of like link please.
Gotcha. Love that. And so second rapid fire question for you, even though we're talking a little bit longer on these rapid fire, but I love this conversation. What is the worst LinkedIn DM you've received?
Probably there's this like type of DM that goes like, "Hi Mitchell, we have like developers, we can help you build your software better. You know, like book a call here."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's probably the worst because there's zero effort. I don't even know why people do this. I wonder if they're making any money. Like that's like I know how. Sure, maybe I need more develop. Like not this way. Like it shows like you've spent zero effort understanding where I am, what my business is.
Yeah.
So probably that. If you're selling like development services or help, just like don't do that. Just like say something about my company. Hey, you're building this. Curious, like, how's the building going?
Yeah.
I would respond to that. I would respond like the building's going like okay, slow but okay, or something like that. And you could try pitch me on that. But just like block of text says like, "Hi, we have developers. They are cheap.
Yeah.
We have developers. They are cheap. They live somewhere else. You need help. You don't know what you're doing. Let us do it for you instead. It's cheap, right?" No, people don't necessarily want to buy cheap stuff, especially when it's like building their product. Like, I will never buy the cheapest thing. Like, I might as well go on Upwork, right? Like, so yeah, that's probably the worst I've got.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's
what's the worst you got?
Really similar. Actually, funnily enough, you asked. I actually received a marriage proposal through LinkedIn one time, which was super weird and super out there. And just to be clear for everyone listening, it is not the guy that I married.
But, hi, Amy, do you want to marry me?
Yeah, it was just like, hey, I've been following your content for a while. And it was just like, I'd love to meet up and potentially get married one day. And I was like, okay, this guy is weird.
Does he?
So yeah, super weird. Maybe that's just a female thing. I hear a lot of stories from females where, LinkedIn is kind of misused and people misinterpret it as a dating site. But, that's a whole other episode.
LinkedIn as a dating site?
I don't know.
There's literally nothing about LinkedIn.
I don't know. It's a whole other episode.
Instagram or something. Like that. That makes more sense. Like
Yeah. So that was super weird. But I've also experienced a lot of the similar things of what you've said, where someone will say to me like, hey, I can help you grow your business and grow your coaching business and grow your LinkedIn and grow your brand. And I'm like, have you looked at my profile? Because that's kind of what I help our clients to do. So it's kind of like, well, not to say that I don't know, I know everything in the world and can't learn. I'm learning all the time. But it's kind of just like, to your point, they've done no research on me and what it is that I do. And they've kind of pitched me on my own thing that we run our program on. Yeah. So that was kind of weird.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Last question for you. Knowing what you know now in building Condo and starting this whole journey and building the platform, what's one thing you would do differently in hindsight?
I think that I would probably have, when we launched Condo, it was like $15 a month or something like that. It's now $30, and then we have 3 plans, and the enterprise plan is $50 a month. I should think I should have started with that. Basically, I think I should have picked. I would rather have sold less condo licenses for a higher value, and again, not like an insanely high value.
Yeah,
I still think we're building like, like $50 maximum. Like I would not ever charge more than $100 a seat for condo. So like not about $10,000 a year software. But yeah, I think that was probably a mistake, and someone out there who like I talked to about this is gonna say I told you so. There were a fair number of people who said like go launch at a higher price point.
Yeah.
And why? Because I think condo even at $30 a month, I think we attract some people who don't really need it. And to be clear, like if you're a customer and you're paying whatever, like, yeah, we're happy to have you and we'll support you, right? I mean, we'll offer the same level of support as anyone else. But I actually think I honestly think some of our customers, because we're a self-serve product and you can sign up and pay for yourself, and you don't go through the sales process, some people don't really need this thing. Why? Because they have other problems. Like someone showed up that day and said, I'm figuring out how to do sales. I don't know how to like, I've never sold a deal in the DMs. And I think you need to go figure out how to sell your first deal in the crappy LinkedIn inbox before you need a condo. Because you need a condo when you're doing a lot of stuff and things like fall through the cracks. Like there's a process problem where like, I know this thing that works, I'm trying to scale it up. And if I scale up in LinkedIn's crappy inbox, like it's going to break. I think that's who needs condo. And I think if you've closed some deals in the DMs, it means your business is viable. You're making some money. You have cash flow. It's not great. You want to scale it up. You want like 2x it. And then it's not crazy to pay. You're making enough money where this is a marginal expense. Like the ROI will be like high because it will help you scale things up and you'll make a lot more money if you go faster or save your time. If you're like still figuring things out, if you're not even sure, like we get some people who churn and then I'm like, why? I ask everyone why. And some people are like, oh, it just wasn't working. I didn't know I wasn't making any money. I was sending all these DMs. Nobody replied. You have other problems, right?
That's it. That's a strategy thing. That's not the platform. So.
Yeah, you either need a better product to sell. You need to like get good at messaging. You need a coach, but you got to go figure those things out. So I'd say, and some people don't get it. Like some people churn because they don't get enough messages and like, oh, I realize I don't get that many messages. I'm like, well, what can I say? Right. So I think that we could have fixed that earlier by, like, this is why I'm quite bullish still on making condo like a premium product that feels expensive to many people. That has no free tier. Because I think our best customers are people, like I was chatting with someone this morning and he said, hey, look, I tried all the tools before yours and like none of them worked and yours does. And so that's why I bought an annual subscription. And I was like, actually, why? Like what got you over the hump? And he said, and I said, honestly, we struggle. Some people like, I don't have enough messages and then they churn and then they don't get over the hump, but you did. So like, tell me why. And he said, dude, if you send enough messages on LinkedIn, there's no way you're going to be like, I'm fine in the LinkedIn inbox. You won't be like, oh, sorry, I went back to LinkedIn inbox and was okay today. If you're like having 20 concurrent conversations, like it's just not going to work, right? So if there are some people who are like on the fence like that and they're like, I could get the work done in the LinkedIn inbox, I don't really need it. Well, then you don't really have to pay, like, then
it's not the right time to bring something on because you're not in enough pain about the problem.
So I think we have a niche product, but I didn't package it, and maybe to some extent, maybe you could argue I'm not packaging it well enough today as like something which like only some very few people need, but those people need it a lot. And,
I need it,
and they're willing, like they are more price like inelastic, right? Like I literally think that for a subset of my users, if I raise prices 50% tomorrow, they won't churn. And maybe it'd be worth it. So I think it's like back to basics on like, who is this product for? And does the packaging and pricing like speak to that? Currently, I think it's still somewhere in between. There are still some people who sign up who don't really need this. And honestly, like it's a waste of their time and my time and their money. And my time going into like refunding them or thinking about what to do with that churn. So I think that's what I would rethink on hindsight, like gating the sign up more earlier. I think I didn't do that because I wasn't confident. I was like, nobody's gonna. I was like, I don't even know if anyone's gonna pay for this.
Yeah.
And so like if you go charge like whatever $50 a month, then like definitely nobody's gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
So I was
nervous when you're launching a new thing. Like you're not sure, you don't have that evidence and you don't have that data of people, paying for it and saying that, this has really solved my problem and I'm happy, I've got the ROI from it. So it's natural to, I think, sort of go a bit low before you go high. But I agree with you. I think there's lots of people that hold themselves back from, pitching at a higher rate and having more of a niche premium product from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Mitchell, thank you.
Sure.
Those rapid fire questions were not so rapid fire because I think there's so many things that we can cover.
Edit them into like sound rapid.
But I also love what you said. So I'm happy to keep them. But look, this has been great. Thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. We've talked all about Condo, LinkedIn, DMs. Is there one kind of parting piece of advice you would want to leave people with?
I'd say don't like take like you're behind the curve as an excuse for inaction. So like I think a lot of people have this same with AI actually, like the world's moving so far, so I'm kind of behind the curve. There are big creators on LinkedIn. Amy has like 50,000 followers, whatever, right? And I don't. It's too late. I'd say, like, so what? Yeah, you got a choice, right? Like just do it, and I think that's generally good psychology to have, right? Like it doesn't matter if people have done it before or are bigger or have like caught the right timing. This all like it's never too late to get in the market. I think there are very rare exceptions where it's too late to get in the market. Like don't start a ride sharing company today.
Yes.
But like it's not too late to start like a company which sells better LinkedIn inbox, for example. Come compete with me. Like I don't think it's too late. Yeah. Right.
There's always opportunity.
Not too late to start an AI company. It's not too late. It's not too late to get on LinkedIn. It's not too late to try and be a LinkedIn creator.
Yeah.
You like just do it. You have no choice, right?
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much. Sure. For people listening to this who want to find out a little bit more about Condo.
Try condo.com, but we no longer have a free trial. So we have a 14-day money back guarantee. So you can sign up, pay, and then if you really hate it, you can email me. I will send you a refund. Try condo.com is the best way to check it out.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Mitchell. This has been great.
Sure. Thanks.
Awesome.